بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. So in this video I want to talk about something that is mainly my point of view, and you can completely disagree with that, but it is related to obviously a solution to the situation that we are in right now. And I've talked about this in different videos, in various videos on my channel, that we are in a continuous state of decline. And in my point of view, right now, education is the best solution to our problem, and we still have not realized that. And um, in order to fix our situation, how do we what are the steps that we have to take? And one of the things that I say we have to do is active pacifism, right? We have to go in a phase of active pacifism, which means that we forget about any form of violence, right? Violence is never the solution, as they say, right? And if we look at the early history of the Muslims, right? And so this is inspired by a lot of things. And Imam Malik, rahimahullah, he said that the later part of the Ummah is going to be revived in the same way that the earlier part of this Ummah was revived. So the earlier part, obviously, the Islam started with in a very weak situation, right? The Prophet ﷺ and the early converts went through a really hard time. And they were severely tortured, especially the Sahaba radiallahu anhum. They were severely tortured by the leaders of Mecca, right? So, but there was no resistance at all, right? Because resistance was futile, right? Because Muslims were weak, right, in the early phase, and they were small in numbers, right? And therefore, when we are weak, we obviously have to look for other ways of solving our problems, right? Violence is just useless, right? And so if we look at our recent history, Muslims have been mainly resorting to violence in trying to, topple governments and so on. And those type of actions have resulted in deaths that could have been avoided by not taking those actions, obviously, right? So the only thing that Muslims haven't figured out is education, which I'm just, which I'm focusing at. That's my focus, right? And so this is what the phase of active pacifism is. That right now we're in a state of passiveness, right? We are doing nothing, almost nothing. Our actions, there are people trying, but our actions are negligible. We are spread out. People are trying different things, but obviously nothing is working, right? So the whole idea, this is why I proposed the idea of MIST, which is an institute for the Muslims, where we try to, condense, right? We try to concentrate our efforts to promote education, right? Islamic education as well as scientific education, right? And so this is the solution of our situation, that we go into a phase of active pacifism. And this is also reflected in the decision of the Prophet ﷺ during the time of Hudaybiyah, right? The agreement of Hudaybiyah, when it was signed, there were clauses in that agreement where Muslims appeared to be taking a weaker stance, and the Sahaba radiallahu anhum ajma'in were actually quite upset that they, for some time, they were not talking to the Prophet ﷺ. And I'm quite sure you know about the whole situation. And so, because Muslims were in a weak situation, when we're in a weak situation, we have to resort to actions that might look that we are weak, but we have to take that, because that the time that comes after that, where we are focused on self-improvement, on self-building, right, and on we focus on our ethical values, our moral values, our educational values, right? So all of these values we focus on education. That is the phase of growth, where we grow, right, in terms of our values and in terms of our ethics and education. And that is the phase where we get stronger, right? We have to go in that phase because we're just losing on every front, right? And so that's why the phase of active pacifism is important, and we forget about any form of government, and we understand those things, but we don't go into those things. We focus on education only, and this is the whole idea of a MIST, which is going to be all about education, right? We focus on technologies again. I've talked about this, that work for the betterment and improving the situation of humanity, irrespective of religion. We work on technology that help humanity, right? To prove to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are worthy of something, right? The decline, the extent to which we are declining, right? It's obvious that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not happy with us. We need to improve our actions, or improve ourselves, so that we are worthy in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also of any position, right? So yeah, this is the conclusion of this video. Active pacifism is what I think is the way to go right now. And if I'm wrong, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala correct me, but this is something I strongly believe in right now, and this is what MIST is also based on. So Jazakallah for watching. Keep smiling and keep learning. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.